Imagine this. You're going about your day, everything is normal, and then suddenly something feels off. Maybe it's a slight weakness in one arm, or maybe your vision gets blurry for a few moments. The strange feeling passes, so you shrug it off, thinking it's no big deal. But what if it is a big deal? What if your body is trying to send you an SOS and you're not paying attention? This is the reality for over 240,000 people in the US every year who experience something called a mini stroke or transient ischemic attack, TIA. Most of these people don't realize what's happening and often ignore the symptoms, thinking they'll go away on their own. And yes, the symptoms do disappear, but don't be fooled. This doesn't mean you're in the clear. A TIA might only last a few minutes or hours, and the symptoms might seem harmless, but it's actually your body's way of telling you that something more serious could be on the horizon. The truth is, 1 in 5 people who have a TIA will experience a full stroke within 90 days, and the risk is even higher for older adults. So, while the symptoms may fade away, the threat of a full-blown stroke looms. It's not a warning you should ignore. You might be wondering, how serious can it be if the symptoms go away so quickly? Well, the fact is, TIAs are red flags that should never be brushed aside. They are early warning signs that blood flow to the brain has been temporarily blocked, and while the effects may seem short-lived, the potential for a future stroke is very real. In fact, over 65% of people who experience a TIA will go on to have a major stroke, often within 48 hours. This is why recognizing the signs is so critical. It can make the difference between life and death, between full recovery and permanent disability. So, what exactly happens during a TIA? A T is a type of stroke that occurs when a blood clot temporarily blocks blood flow to the brain. This disruption is usually brief, causing no permanent damage, but it's a clear signal that the brain is at risk of being deprived of oxygen. For most people, the symptoms are brief and disappear quickly. But here's the catch. That doesn't mean the underlying risk is gone. In fact, it's often the first sign that a more severe stroke is on the way. That's why it's so important to take these episodes seriously, especially for people over 65 who are at the highest risk. Recognizing the symptoms early can be life-saving. The first thing to watch out for is sudden weakness or numbness, especially on one side of the body. Maybe you'll notice one arm feeling unusually heavy, or your leg feels unsteady, or even your mouth drooping. It may be subtle at first, but don't ignore it. Even if the symptoms disappear in a matter of minutes, it's a warning that something isn't right. Another common sign is sudden vision changes, like blurry or double vision, or even a loss of vision in one eye. It might seem like just a momentary inconvenience, but it's an important signal that your brain or retina isn't getting enough blood. Speech problems are also a key indicator. If you find yourself slurring words or struggling to form a sentence, even for just a few minutes, don't brush it off. This could be a sign of aphasia, a condition related to a TIA. Confusion or disorientation is another possible symptom. If suddenly you feel like you can't think clearly or have difficulty remembering things, your brain might not be getting the oxygen it needs. Another frequent symptom of TIAs is dizziness or a sudden loss of balance. You might feel as though the room is spinning or you have trouble staying upright. This could easily be mistaken for vertigo, but it could be a sign that the blood flow to your brain is compromised. Some people experience intense headaches during a TIA, and it's important to note that this headache may be unlike any you've had before. If it comes on suddenly and intensely, it might be an indication of vascular stress in the brain. Don't ignore this feeling. Then there are the more alarming signs, brief loss of consciousness or sudden drowsiness. It's easy to write this off as fatigue, but if it comes on suddenly, it's worth paying attention to. And, of course, tingling sensations or numbness, especially on one side of your body, should never be ignored. These are signs that blood flow to your brain is being disrupted, and they are often among the first symptoms of a TIA. But don't panic. While TIAs are serious, they are also preventable and manageable. Risk factors for TIAs and strokes include high blood pressure, diabetes, atrial fibrillation, smoking, and obesity. If you or a loved one are dealing with any of these conditions, regular checkups and a healthy lifestyle are essential. Here's the good news. By making some changes to your daily routine, you can dramatically reduce your risk of having a TIA or stroke. Eating a balanced diet, getting regular exercise, and managing your stress are all key factors in maintaining a healthy heart and brain. And if you have any of the above risk factors, working closely with your doctor can help keep them under control. A simple way to remember the signs of a TIA is the FAST method. Face. Check for any drooping on one side of the face. Arms. Ask the person to raise both arms. Is one side weak or numb? Speech. Ask them to repeat a simple sentence. Is their speech slurred? Time. If any of these signs appear, it's time to call for help immediately. If you have an elderly family member, recognizing these symptoms can make all the difference. Educate yourself and others about the warning signs, encourage regular doctor visits, and promote a healthy lifestyle that includes a balanced diet, daily physical activity, and stress management. You can also help by keeping track of any medications they may need and making sure they take them regularly. If you've learned anything from this, it's that TIAs are not something to ignore. They are urgent signals that shouldn't be brushed aside. They are your body's way of giving you a second chance. Acting quickly could prevent a future stroke, and it could mean the difference between a full recovery and a life-altering condition. Whether you're experiencing symptoms yourself or helping someone else, don't wait. Take action. Recognizing a TIA and acting fast could save a life.